this was not part of the narrative busting arc. However, I think I should touch on the Drake-Kenny thing since it is May 15th, Drake just dropped today, and I am in Canada. Now, the Kenny vs. Drake battle was one of the greatest psyops I've seen in years. And before everybody starts hyperventilating into their Not Like Us instrumental, relax. I am not Team Drake, and I am not Team Kenny. I am team, why are grown adults behaving like emotionally programmable NPCs over 2 millionaires insulting each other through music streaming apps? That's the real conversation. Because this battle exposed something alarming. People do not think independently. They pick teams emotionally and then reverse engineer morality after. The conscious crowd wanted Kenny to win because Kendrick represents the artsy, intellectual, pseudo-conscious archetype. And Drake fans wanted Drizzy to win because he represents accessibility, hits, emotion, and mainstream dominance. But it's basically Republican versus Democrat, Blood versus Crip, Coke versus Pepsi, Marvel versus DC. Same shit, different toilet. And the virtue signaling during this battle was wildly insane. People started acting like streaming Kendrick Lamar was like participating in civil rights activism. Bruh, it's a rap battle sponsored by corporations. So take your time. Now I'll say this. Kendrick Lamar is very talented. Drake is very talented. But both are industry plants to some degree. Both got massive cosigns early. Both were strategically amplified. Dr. Dre launching Kendrick was like basically a hip-hop knighting ceremony. And Drake had the whole machine behind him from day one too. Neither of these dudes became megastars accidentally while recording in a broom closet beside expired ramen noodles. That's not how this industry works. But here's where things got weird. People actually started saying that Canadians shouldn't even have a voice in hip-hop. And that might be one of the most dotish things I've heard in the entire battle. America is not just the USA, guys. Hip-hop is global now, and if Canadians can't speak on rap, then half your favorite producers, artists, executives, and consumers need to be deported from Spotify immediately. But this argument exposed how lowbrow the discourse became. Now, me personally, I listened to every diss record in sequence. Drake won. Lyric for lyric, Drake. Beat for beat, Drake. Humor, Drake. Replay value, Drake. Actual world impact in the real world, Drake. Synthetic media manufacturing impact, Kenny. And yeah, Kenny had one nuclear line. One. But the funniest part, that line was already floating around Twitter. Meanwhile, people online are pretending that Kenny is descending from Mount Sinai with the rap commandments. Bro, some of us were rapping about media control, self-awareness, exploitation, Hollywood 25 years ago. These are not new ideas. Kendrick just packages them better for mainstream audiences, I guess. And the strangest part, most so-called Kenny fans can't quote a hot Kenny bar when challenged. Not one. But everybody knows Drake records. Everybody can sing them. They can quote them. They can name them instantly. So that's kind of suspicious, because it started feeling less like genuine musical appreciation and more like social pressure. People were afraid to say that Drake's song slapped because the internet declared Kenny the morally superior option. But that's programming. And let's talk facts. Kenny made several accusations during the battle that were never proven, and some were outright lies. Meanwhile, Drake dropped verifiable information mixed with comedy and strategy. And then when Drake out-rapped him on certain tracks, suddenly people switched to, well, Drake doesn't write, he has ghostwriters. Interesting. The same industry that quietly uses ghostwriters and reference tracks and melody writers and collaborative writing camps and etc. suddenly became purist hip-hop overnight. Yes, in rap, writing absolutely matters. But pretending that Drake isn't a gifted writer at this point is mental illness. The man writes for other artists. Has a heap of records, quotables, hooks, melodies, punchlines, storytelling records. Like, you don't just accidentally dominate charts for 15 years. And here comes the funniest part. The kicker. People said that Kenny finished Drake. He's done. Drake's career is finished. But fast forward to May 15, 2026, new album drops, it's #1. Over 60 songs charting simultaneously. Multiple albums charting at once. So the funeral got postponed. What was this really? A giant emotional manipulation exercise? The algorithms pushed it, media pushed it, reaction channels pushed it, and everybody seemed to have gotten drafted into a digital civil war over two plants signed under the same label. And while everybody screamed conscious music over secular music, actual conscious artists have been told for decades, conscious doesn't sell. I was told this myself in the boardrooms, and also told by friends who are suddenly now on the conscious train. Funny how the tone changes when the machine decides that it's profitable. And that's why this whole thing just feels engineered. Not fake, not scripted necessarily, but amplified intentionally, because division and emotional investment generate engagement. And that's the real psyop. People thought they were choosing a rapper, but they were really choosing a tribe. And once people emotionally join tribes, logic leaves the chat. Peace, power, and positive vibes.